What's going on, everybody? We're about to start an interview with one of our students here at Devslopes Academy. He's learning how to code. He's going through the whole process. He is in the shit. And we're going to get the chance to sit down and talk to him about his journey in programming, talk about an app he built that his company actually uses. His company actually that he works for actually uses this app in their day-to-day operations. We're going to talk about why he chose to learn how to code, what he loves about coding, his experience in the academy, his experience working with the mentors, and some of the biggest struggles he faces while learning. He has to juggle, having a full-time 9-to-5 job, having kids, having a family to take care of, all of these different things. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching this. Let's get started. And I guess we can use that kind of to segue into what I wanted us to really talk about is, sure. Clinton, you're someone who has made tremendous success within the academy. Peter, Nathan have they told me hey, go to Clinton and try and talk to him because he's done a lot of awesome things both in and outside of the academy when it comes to programming. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. So if you wanted to just introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So my name's Clinton Williams. I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Been in the beer business for about 20 years. A lot of different roles. Started in delivery, worked my way into sales and to management. So it's really been cool. It's a really interesting business to be in. A lot of interesting people, but I got comfortable really doing it. Didn't really grow, and I had some, like most kids when I was younger, I had some ideas about technology and programming and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I remember being a young kid and I had a Game Pro magazine. I don't even know if they had Game Pro magazines anymore, but a Game Pro magazine is it was the internet for people that were before the internet. If you wanted to learn about games and stuff, the games that were coming out, that was it. And it was an
Game
article.
Informer. I remember that. I had Game Informer.
Yeah. And there was an article in there that really sparked my curiosity about game development. And I remember writing the editor to GamePro or something, that I wanted to, go down that road. But I don't think I ever heard back from them, which it wouldn't have really made much sense. And I never really pursued that, coming out of high school. Like I said, been in the beer business. It was comfortable and it was easy. But I think within the past 3 or 4 years, I got divorced and I went through just a lot of changes where I had a lot of free time and that I wasn't used to, and started just doing different things, trying to see what would stick, try to develop myself better as a person. I did some artwork, fitness related activities and stuff like that, and then I think I had. I was just thinking to myself, at that time, apps are becoming more and more available on your phone, than they were before. And I would look at apps, and you could tell the difference between a quality app and an app that was really subpar. And but I was like, man, there's just such a difference in the level of quality, and even in the things that were really good. Sometimes they're selling you stuff, and I'm almost everything. I was I wonder why things are made the way they were, and I would like to learn how to make them the way I want them to be, with the features that I want, especially at work, kind of spearheading our older demographic of salespeople. A lot of times when we get stuff at work that is technology related, they bring it to me first to get the bells and whistles, to figure out if things are gonna really gel with the rest of the sales force, and we switch different things. And I'm still the guy that they go to answer those kinds of questions, even though I'm not technically the IT guy. So I ended up landing here. Long story short, and it's really been pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that story. And what I can detect off the bat is just initiative from the start. Even you said in high school, whenever you saw the game magazine, I can't, the fact that you even just said, I'm going to message this guy. And I'm going to see if, even if you didn't get a response back, that's awesome.
And it was a handwritten letter. Because, again,
that's even better. That's even better.
This was, just the age it was. I'm 46 years old, so that had to be more than 30 years ago. I had to be 10 or 11 or something like that. I had them off the wall. I had some off the wall ideas when I was a young kid about making money, but you know.
Oh, that's awesome. So we talked about a lot about your life before learning how to code, and we talked about, kind of why you wanted to get into coding. What would you say is what you love the most about learning right now?
Oh, really? That just really just the learning is the best part, really, because at first, like the guy you were talking about earlier, it's so intimidating to be to feel like you're either in over your head or you the feeling that you're not even going to jump in the water because you know you will be, so you don't. But then once you really get introduced to some curriculum with some mentors like at Devslopes, and they kind of hold your hand a little bit with, showing you how to do some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and stuff like that. And I will tell people, as they start learning and they start getting further and further along in their journey, and they run into these issues where they're like, I don't know if I can learn how to do this. This is so hard. I'm like, well, you remember how you felt when you first had to do some of the simplest things here? It was really, you felt overwhelmed. And then after you did it, you were like, wow, like, it's almost kind of mysterious, programming. People really think it's not more than what it is, but they just don't really grasp like how really accessible it can be.
Now, can I come in?
No, honey, not right now. I'm sure you can edit some of this.
Well, you're fine, man. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, it is. That's also one of the things why I'm here. But yeah, the thing that I get the most joy out of is just having like tackled a problem, figured it out. Once you see those errors go away and everything pops up on the screen like it's supposed to, and the functions run, and it's like, it's very satisfying.
Exactly. I love that. I mean, it's kind of
Especially
one
when
of
it's
those
something
things.
that's been like bugging you for like a long time.
No, that makes perfect sense. It's kind of like one of those things where, like, you always wait for the guy who's kind of mastered it all, and he's the expert, and he has like all this experience with programming. You look to him for this advice, but really, you want the people that are going through the same process with you. That's why I wanted to talk to some of the handful of students like you, and there's a handful of other ones I want to be able to get a hold of who are really like in the shit. You know what I mean? They're in the shit. They're going through the learning process. They're hitting, errors left and right that they don't know how to solve. They're hitting the frustrations. They may not even have job opportunities yet, but they're going through that whole process. I feel like those are kind of the best people to kind of listen to. So with that in mind, like, what would you say, you have someone who, they want a career change, they want the lifestyle, they want to be able to learn how to code, get a job, make six figures, all that stuff. They know they want it, but they just can't bring themselves to make the jump. What would you say to that person?
It's you can always go back. Like, do you want to, like, in 15 or 20 years, like myself, I'm 46. I wish I had. You want to be 46 years old, wishing 20 years ago you had tried. Like one of the reasons I do this now is like, yeah, I can show my kids that, like, even at my age, I can, like, pick up a new skill. But at the same time, I'm telling them, like, do you really want to be like working full time and having to like spend your evenings, trying to do this, or do you want to, like, the sooner the better, right? You can always change, course later on. But you don't want to, like, kick yourself in 5 or 10 years and watch somebody else come up with that idea that you had, and like go to market with it, and then you're just thinking, uh, why didn't I
Should have
just try?
done it. Should have
Why
done
didn't I try? You could
it.
just try. I mean, you could just try. You could try for 6 months to 6 years.
Yeah.
Give it 6 days. Even when I don't even want to, like, go up the stairs to code, I'm like, I can do 5 minutes. I
I
can do
love that.
5 minutes, and then I can go take a nap. And 100% of the time, I'm up here for 55 minutes. 5 minutes goes by so fast once you get in the groove. But people want to stay in the groove they're already in. You know.
Absolutely. Would
So
you say, start small, like based on what you said there, start small is the way to go?
yeah,
So like, even
definitely.
if it's just 5 minutes a day, even if it's just
Yeah.
10 minutes a day, you know
I
what I mean?
started. I started with some obscure learning apps on my phone.
Oh,
Um, with Copeland. Hell, I even started even sooner than that. Matter of fact, I think I still got this book. I got a book over here.
Pulling out the textbooks.
I got a book. Oh yeah, here it is.
Python
I did not get
syntax
far in
for
this book.
dummies.
So
Wait, is it a for dummies book? No way! That's
I got this
awesome.
book. It probably cost, I don't even want to know, $45. I did not get very far in it because it was a little bit much for me at the beginning to use this, and I could not get very far with it. But it definitely, I think I went from the book to the learning apps on the phone, and then
Yeah.
seeing Jason on TikTok, Brewer, and then I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I said that this is what we're gonna do. This is it right here.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. Yeah, Jason Brewer, that's an original Devslopes
OG.
mentor.
He's the OG. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. That's the starting place, though. And like you said, it's like because a lot of people before they make a jump, a commitment with something like Devslopes Academy, where like it's a commitment. You know what I mean? It's not if you get into Devslopes, I'm sure it's safe for you to say if you get into Devslopes, you're here to learn how to code. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
not
or you know,
you're gonna fall behind. You're not gonna to reach that. So it makes sense to say like, hey, before you make a jump like this, try coding, even if you just try it. You know what I mean? Even if you just make a quick little YouTube tutorial and you copy what the person is doing, you might not learn a whole lot, but at least you try it. At least you're
yeah.
trying. So I love that. I love that. So next question for you. I want to talk about the app you built for for the company that you work for, because that's something that Peter gave you a lot of points about. Was saying that you actually built something that your current company uses, and I believe you were in conversation with, is it Gallo Wines?
Yeah, I had a conversation with them a few months ago because so they have some software that they typically, as a supplier, which is what a winery is.
Yeah.
So in a three-tier system, you have a supplier, then you have distributors, then you have the retail market, like you got your Walmarts and stuff like that. Well, they want to communicate with the distributors. They want to also communicate directly to the sales force, with giving them missions, is what they call them. Like
Gotcha.
we'd like them to go to stores and do certain things and upload and share the progress, and so they can see it live in action. And that was actually kind of like the app that I had already made.
Okay.
That was doing that. See, because like I said, well, I'm in the beer business with this small family company, and so they're not real tech savvy. We recently just got a guy off of AOL Mail. Okay, he was one of our sales managers. We finally got him on a Gmail business account. But yeah, for the longest time, and I wasn't even really thinking that much about it at the time, but they needed some display execution in stores for new items or displays. Like we were texting our supervisor or key person or emailing these people, these pictures, and I was already in Devslope, and I don't know, the wheels just started turning, and I thought, well, that's a waste of time. Why are we doing that? This is 2022 probably or something at the time, and
Yeah,
I was like, this
definitely.
is a valid project. I should make this, and I didn't tell anybody about it. I had just worked on it by myself. I didn't even tell anybody at Devslopes for the longest time. I just kind of kept it to myself because I felt like this was a learning exercise, but it wasn't going to go anywhere. Nobody was going to use it, and I finally grew a pair and went to my boss, the owner of the company, and was like, "Hey, just by the way, just giving you a heads up, I've made something I would like to share with the rest of the sales team." And I
That's
explained
so
it to
awesome.
him, and he was like, "Yeah, go for it," And I really expected more pushback from people about it than what I got, because it's kind of like that, like the guy that you started talking about to begin with. You just, it's easier to give up. It's easier to say people aren't going to like it, or people know who you are. You're not a developer. You're a beer salesman. You know, like you can't make this kind of
Mm,
stuff. But people
yeah,
really got to like use out of it. You know, they really saw the value.
absolutely.
So the whole sales team uses it. We, long story short, we use it for documenting the success stories, if you will, of the sales team, and the rest of the sales team can see it in real time. Right? It's
That's so
built on
awesome.
the same framework that Facebook and Instagram uses for instant, posts and stuff. So um,
Wow.
I didn't spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect system. I just figured, I was gonna.
How long did you spend on this project?
Well, I'm still in development, but I probably,
Right.
yeah, I honestly worked on it by myself while I was doing everything else for over a year before I brought it to the company. Because there was spells of time where I didn't focus on it much, run into some roadblocks and I had to stop and kind of like, I had that going on. I had Devslopes curriculum. There's a story. I got a 9 to 5 job with a wife and
Yeah.
kids. So, you know,
Living a life.
yeah, but it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, it's cool. It's cool. You can really do anything with code. Like if you think about it, and people say
Yeah,
that all the time, but legit, you can't. Like you can do
sure,
anything.
whatever.
And like you just like I have this idea. I'm gonna build it. Okay, I built it. Okay, it's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm gonna go see if other people want to use
Yeah,
it. Okay, they
that
want to use it. You know what I
that was
mean?
a big. That was like a big gut punch. That was not a gut punch, but it was a big if in my brain. I was
That's
like,
awesome. That's
they gonna
awesome.
laugh me out of this place, you know.
That is awesome.
But I was
That is.
almost. I was. It was. If they had, it would have been okay. Because I was
Oh yeah.
almost. I was almost because I had put so much like emotional and like time into this thing. Like if somebody had been able to definitively tell me, you're wasting your time. Stop what you're doing. For sure, this is like a waste of your time. Get back just to the curriculum. I would have actually breathed a sigh of relief because I'd have known at least I scratched that itch, you
That's
know.
amazing.
And now they like it, and so now I'm like screwed because I have to
That's
keep
awesome.
developing it.
You got to keep working on
I
it.
had to keep working on it.
MVP
I
turned
can't
into
just.
a whole
I had to.
project. That's
I had to
awesome.
just keep going.
That's
So
awesome. So obviously, we got your kids bopping in and out. You obviously have a life. Like you said, you're working a full 9 to 5 job, whole spiel. What I mean, we talk about it all the time. How are you balancing everything right now? You know what I mean? You're in the shit. You are in the shit. You're having to code. You're having to be dad. You're having to do literally everything right
yeah,
now, all at once. How are you balancing things out?
I'm not balancing anything. I'm just bouncing from one thing to the next as fast as possible. Um, I don't feel like it's really balanced, but I'm like getting it done. Like
That's awesome.
family's happy, work's happy. I'm, pushing along with the curriculum. Just try to like, I guess if I had to say how I was balancing it, really, I would say I was still treating my job as the number one priority, um, and the family, of course, uh, and then just trying to fill up every other gap in time with as much development as possible,
I love
be
that.
that with career services or the curriculum or my project.
I love that.
I just try to like, I try not to get too, I try not to get the blinders on, but I hear recently I have had honestly the blinders on. One of the React projects in the curriculum, um, I've kind of like spent a lot of time on, and not too much else as far as coding goes. But I'm gonna steer back into my project, and try to like walk the tightrope between curriculum and project,
Yeah.
if I can, so I can get, hopefully both things leveled up. I was trying to level up.
Absolutely. It seems like how you said, you're filling up every other gap with, something to do with programming. I feel like it's safe to say that the biggest sacrifice you have to make for this is a lot of free time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You lose like almost all your free time, depending on how quickly you want to get things going.
true, but like when I really, you got to take breaks, right? And you know that.
Absolutely.
If I put all of my free time into coding, I would just get burned out, and I would be sitting here at the computer drooling, like lost in space, which happens. And because every time I stop with a particular problem and go outside and cut the grass or go lift weights or go hit the heavy bag, like it's like 100% of the time, I think to myself, wait a second, I could have just done this. I could have just done that. And
Just
then
5 minutes. It could have just been 5 minutes. Could have just fixed that real quick.
yeah, wake up out of bed. People make memes and jokes out of it, but it's 100% true. People wake up out of the bed, in the morning or in the middle of the night, and they realize after like giving themselves a break that, they can go back to their project and figure out what the problem was.
I love that. I love that. So, Clinton, what's the end goal for you? You know what I mean? Do you have obviously your app that you built, and I'm sure you're gonna keep, take that as far as it can go.
Yeah,
You're in Devslopes Academy right now. I'm not sure where you are in the academy.
I'm right before the back end.
Gotcha.
I
Okay, so
just
you're
turned it.
you're deep in the academy.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? Are you looking to, make your app a business? Are you looking to, get a full-time job in programming? Are you looking to freelance? What's the end goal?
I don't think I'm gonna do the freelancing, only because I think I've decided that I can't. I know enough to start freelancing, but I don't have enough time to freelance and to continue my development and learning.
Gotcha.
I think I would. I think I would have to. I think I would have to make that like a plan B or C if I would do something like that. But if I had to. But the end goal is really just to keep all options open. I don't want to be married to any one particular outcome at this point. Like you said, I think I have some. I've just got. I'm fortunate to have plenty of options.
That's
I got a
awesome.
good job. I can just do this, But in the meantime, I'm going to keep pursuing the project. Um, Try to get some income out of it eventually, or just to continue using that as a case study for my skills and get a job. But yeah, I don't really think I'm gonna commit to any one particular thing right now. I'm just gonna just to try to keep developing as broadly as possible and see what happens.
I love that.
I
I
got my
love
fingers
that.
crossed. I think I'm gonna be okay.
I think so too. So I think we'll probably wrap up here in just a second. I guess my last question for you, and once again, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. You have a lot of experience in the academy. You have a lot of experience just in life. You know what I mean? It seems like you've been around the avenues. Like you've gone through a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of people right now that are for sure in your same position, but they have. I would say it's safe to say you have just about every excuse to have not learned to code. And there's a lot of people who would take that and say, I'm not going to learn how to code because of this. I'm not going to learn to code because, I have a family. You know what I mean? I'm not going to learn to code
Yeah.
because I have to work my job all the time. I have to learn to code because I literally have no time at all. What would you say to those people?
If you're saying that, it probably ain't for you. You know, but if you're
I
saying
love that.
that you want to learn how to code because there's things that you want to build or improve, I don't really think you're gonna say to yourself things like that. That you don't have the time or come up with those excuses.
I love that. Everyone that's Clinton tell you, fuck your excuses.
Yeah, like nobody wants to hear them.
Nobody wants to hear. Well, dude, I think so much, man. Once again, this is just like an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to talk to more of the students and things like that, and people that have also reached that same level of success.
Yeah, thanks for
And
the invite,
again,
man. Enjoyed it.
yeah, man,
Good to
thanks so
see
much.
you face to face.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
For sure.
versus
I
being
haven't talked
on
to a lot of the students. It's
TikTok and
cool.
stuff,
It's
and
cool.
Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook.
I
I think I see you on
appreciate that.
Facebook a lot.
I appreciate that a ton. I'm gonna hit stop recording right now and
Okay.
just like Tell you. That is a wrap for this video, guys. I hope you guys had a great time watching this. You know, we got to sit down with Clinton. We got to ask him all these different kinds of questions about what it's like learning how to code. This gives you an in-depth look of someone who's actually in the shit, knows exactly what you're going through if you're someone learning how to code. Or if you're someone interested in learning how to code, you can see how his story resonates really, really well. So if you're someone looking to become a programmer in 2024, what I want you to do now is I want you to go click the link down below, hit the apply button, and speak to us. Speak to us. Tell us what you're looking for. That way we can get to your questions, answer every question you have, and we can get you on track to becoming a developer and working with our mentors, learning how to earn money while you're learning how to code, learning how to navigate the challenges that comes with programming, everything along those lines. So click the link down below, fill out the application, and I'll see you guys soon.